that that way national government, that is build, operate and transfer model. Certain projects which are part and parcel of development meant for common people, meant for generating income and keeping civil life in a smoother manner, in an easier manner. That may be building of dam, building of road, building of railways, construction lines, or for that sake, any other industrial project. It's not necessary that all workers working in road construction project are government employee. That particular task, that particular project is given with open tender to civil contractors, builders, developers, and team of skilled professionals who are having their public limited or private limited companies. And in later stage of that particular project, when the project is completely ready to use, that is operated by them also on trial basis, and later on it is given to, handed over to government. This way this particular BOT model works out. We will go into all these details step by step, and at the end we will have one example also. This particular model BOT is used where, and with exact example, with correct example, everything makes clear what this BOT model meant by. Now, BOT is a type of arrangement in which the private sector built an infrastructure project, operates and eventually transfer ownership of the project to the government. In many instances, the government becomes the firm's only customer and promises to purchase at least a predetermined amount of the project's output. This ensures that the firm recoups its initial investment in a reasonable time span. Now, what all are the important factors with the reference to this first slide? All the projects which are started by and meant for making of that project only by those private employees, or with that group of persons who are building that project, they invest in that project. It's their money what they put in, and in a later stage government as a customer is buying that project from that company, and company of course is giving them by having profit. This is easy and simple to understand. What all are the parties involved in build, operate and transfer? The host government. I will enlarge it so that it will be visible to you. The host government, normally the government is the initiator of the infrastructure project and decides if the BOT model is appropriate to meet its needs. In addition, the political and economic circumstances are main factors for this decision. The government provides normally support for the project in some form. There are different types of power project. What is meant by power project, students? Please let me know. Any idea? Any example of power project you can give? Where electric energy is getting produced and stored from kinetic energy, it is getting converted into potential energy. Enron as a project at Dabhol, Ratnagiri was a power project, and certain power projects at different places near to Mumbai, Turbhe is a place where power project is operating. And in such power project, when money is involved and when state government declares that we are having one power project at this dam on river or at this specific location, there are many economical and political factors associated with it. At that situation, at that time, if government was having sufficient funds with running and making that project successful, if opposition is having any issue, any problem with installment of that project, if non-government organizations, environment awareness creating, or people who are supporting environment project, if they are opposing it, is there any damage causing to nature cycle, this environment, natural environment? All these factors are studied. Now, car shed for metro was a big issue between BJP coalition government and in this Maha Vikas Aghadi also. That government was having plan to have this car shed in Rajiv Gandhi National Park by having by cutting off trees, and opposition was not supporting it. Now that car shed from that point is shifted to other point. These all factors are political and they don't want any damage to happen to environment. All the project workers or authorities having decision to cut those trees were having claim that the surrounding area, that social forest is having around 5 lakh trees. Out of 5 lakh, they are cutting 2,500 only, which is not even 0.5% of entire count of tree. So these all factors were having controversy. So what happens when host government, the government which is in power, state government or national government, has to look into that particular project, and that project require there shouldn't be any hurdle, economic or political. What happens if economic hurdle is there? If state government is not funding in due course of time, then continuously working on that project becomes difficult for that private party. Now the concessionaire, the project sponsors who act as concessionaire create a special purpose entity which is capitalized through their financial contributions. Concessionaires are the party who are investing in that particular project and having finance, giving monetary support to raise that project, to complete that project. Lending banks, the project sponsors itself as a word clarifies who are concessionaires. Sponsors who act as concessionaire create a special purpose entity which is capitalized through their financial contributions. Now, lending banks, most build, operate, transfer projects are funded to a big extent by commercial debt. When we are, and we were, actually not we are, in BJP's coalition state government, the then Chief Minister Sri Devendra Fadnavis was having this project of metro line and even bullet train. The loan which was raised at the rate of 0.5% interest was amounting 9,000 crore rupees. And he clarified all the financial matters relevant with this metro project and bullet train. And most BOT projects are funded to a big extent by commercial debt. commercial debt is required to be taken by the then government from commercial bankers. The bank will be expected to finance the project on non-recourse basis, meaning that it has recourse to the special purpose entity and all its assets for the repayment of the debt. Non-recourse means what? When this project will be completed, all the money or profit generated from this project, partly or fully, will be used for repaying the debt. This is how lending banks are having condition to giving loans. Other lenders, the special purpose entity might have other lenders such as national or regional development banks. These all national and regional development banks also finance. Part of the finance is coming from these regional banks also. You must have seen, if you had been to Mumbai, Bank of Baroda has financed metro project and the first successful line between Warsaw to Ghatkopar. They do have their advertise at every place, at every station, whichever coming on the way from source to destination and vice versa. Parties to the project contracts because the special purpose entity has only limited workforce, it will subcontract a third party to perform its obligations under the concession agreement. Additionally, it has to assure that it has adequate supply contract in place for the supply of raw materials and other resources necessary for the completion of project. Now what happens? The biggest one party is taking contract. That party may be Indian origin or residing at or belong to country like Japan, country like Germany, or country like America. And these parties are giving their part of the work to parties who are smaller in size but having tie-up or having mutual relationship with main party. Now L&T as a party have taken contract of building Pune Metro. Most of the construction work is been done, that is digging, then building and all those things which are coming on the way while preparing road or track for metro. Again, L&T will have subcontractors who are working under L&T. Now it is L&T's responsibility to get done their work. What model is shown here graphically? Build, operate and transfer. What stages it includes? Setup facilities and infrastructure, staff the development center and establish knowledge transfer. Set up the facilities and infrastructure. That facility and infrastructure may include electric supply, water supply, then other basic amenities, transportation, food and other needed requirements, accommodation, and all these things are relevant with infrastructure. Whatever is required with reference to and nature of that project, that all infrastructure is provided by that particular company. Metro project taken by L&T can't claim or can't say that we will look into only construction of track whereupon this metro will run. To its left and right, whatever amenities like toilet, bathroom, or staircases or platforms, all these things we will not build. That is not the way a project is completed. Entire things which includes infrastructure, they are required to be built up by that company. Now operate managing the offshore organization, program management, development, maintenance, quality assurance, enhancement, and complete support process expertise. So these all factors when operating are also required to be at the end of the completion of that project with its infrastructure, full facilities. First few months or for certain duration, specific duration, that is operated by them only. So that if there are any works remaining incomplete, if there are any problems in infrastructure they built, that will get repaired and rebuilt by them. And that way, after completing that operations, transfer is done. Last stage of BOT model is transfer. Register a new offshore subsidiary for the customer, transfer assets and hand over operations. These operations are handed over to government at the end. How it works, how this particular BOT model works in reality, that we will look into. The public sector partner contracts with a private developer. Most of they are building, developing infrastructure. That infrastructure is not necessarily residential complex. That is commercial complex, road, metro, flyover, bridge, or in that case, any other thing which is required for development. You must have seen government quarters meant for accommodation of government employees. It's not that because they are government quarters, they are built by government employee. All the building developing is done by a private sector party. And later on, that area with land and with building is transferred to government. That way it happens. Typically, a large corporation or consortium of businesses with specific expertise to design and implement a large project. The public sector partner may provide limited funding or some other benefit, but the private sector partner assumes the risk associated with planning, constructing, operating, and maintaining the project for a specified time period that I have already informed you. During that time, the developer charges customers who use the infrastructure that's been built to realize a profit. If government is coming up in Pune, Nagpur, Hyderabad, Bangalore with metro rail project, it is meant for profit of government also, not only charity done to the common citizen. At the end of the specified period, the private sector partner transfers ownership to the funding organization, either freely or for an amount stipulated in the original contract. Such contracts are typically long-term and may remain in continuity. So these all factors are included. How it works with this specific explanation, how built, operate, transfer model works. Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Hello, students.
No, sir.
Huh? Yes, please say it loudly.
No doubt.
Okay. What is the risk involved? That some types of the most common risk, political risk, especially in the developing countries, because of the possibility of dramatic overnight political change. This water management program and water cup event were active participation of Bollywood star Amir Khan is seen. That program is discarded by current government in power, and there are many other projects which were operated and in progress by earlier government. They are not operating now. What happens? This is political risk. All those parties who are engaging themselves in such type of giant size project, having investment from bankers, promoters, and in between, all of a sudden, if political parties change comes in state government or national government, in such situation, recovery of payment becomes very big challenge. And in such situation, continuing with the same project also is much bigger challenge than recovery of payment. So all these factors are having risk, political risk, technical risk, construction difficulties, for example, unforeseen soil conditions, breakdown of equipment. Technical risk involves accidents. Technical risk involves natural adversities, climatic adversities. And in such condition, working in those climatic adversities, heavy rainfall, drought-like condition, water scarcity, forest area, deep forest area, all these factors are technical risk, financial risk, foreign exchange rate risk, and interest rate fluctuation. Interest rate keeps on fluctuating, and on account of market volatility, it is difficult to judge what may happen in tomorrow's market. Everything is uncertain. Market risk, change in the prices of raw material, income risk over optimistic cash flow forecast, and cost overrun risk. Cost overrun means whatever you are purchasing that is required in more than your estimated budget, overrunning cost. You thought of having one spare part at the rate of 10 rupees, and in due course of 6 months, in due course of 1 year, till the project completes, its cost is going about 20 rupees. There it is difficult for you to manage the budget, and your overall cost required to complete that project goes beyond your wild imagination. This happened with dam, this happened with road construction, this happens with metro project, this happens with building infrastructure for government purpose also. Because what cost raw material used to have 1 year ago, its today's cost is much higher. On account of petrol and diesel prices increasing, transportation cost of this material increases, and when transportation cost increases, naturally all the goods which are carried by these vehicles are increasing, having increased. So these all factors are these are risks are involved in completion of project. First, and understand what is meant by contractual structure theoretically. The chart below shows the contractual structure of a typical BOT project, including the lending agreement, the shareholders agreement between the project company shareholders and the subcontractors of the operating contract, and the construction contract, which will typically be between the project company and a member of the project company consortium. What is here included? The very basic thing is project company. Who all are supporting project company? That is concession agreement, shareholding, lending agreement, operating and maintenance agreement, construction contract, input supply agreement, off-take purchase agreement. All these legal formalities a project company has to complete. Now, with these legal formalities, who all are involved? with project company to complete the entire task, entire project in specified duration. Offtake purchase agreement is done by offtake purchaser. Concession agreement is done by authority, government authority. Here it is meant by shareholding. Shareholders who are buying shares in hope that on account of this project completion, share prices what they are at the moment in today's market, they will have rise in share prices. Lending agreement, lenders are having this agreement. Operations maintenance agreement, all those who are operating this particular BOT model in its second stage after completion of infrastructure building is doing that agreement. Construction contract is given to construction company or construction contractor. Input support agreement is given by input supplier. So these all factors are relevant with project company. Part of government, part of private limited companies, part of legal entities are associated with project company. Now, one example is worth to be given for 10 pages explanation in theory. You agree with me? With proper example or any theoretical explanation makes it clear that you understood the topic. Remember, whenever you are writing your answers in explanation in descriptive nature, support your explanation with example. That will impress your examiner and he will realize that whatever theoretical explanation you are giving, it is understood by you. All the build, operate, transfer module, I was explaining you theoretically. It's quite possible that part of it was not understood by you. With example, it becomes very clear and where there won't be any chance remaining doubt in your mind. The first example, what it is, railways to build 3 projects through build, operate, transfer model. Which all are those 3 projects? Let's see one by one. The 3 targeted projects are developing third line between Nagpur and Wardha, which is included. Both districts are there in Maharashtra. Nagpur and Wardha, Kazipet, Telangana, and Ballar Shah, Maharashtra, and Bhadrak and Nargundi, both in Orissa. A senior railway ministry official said the total estimated cost of development of 357 kilometer third line is around rupees 2,450 crore. Now, one important point I would like to explain here with this example of amounting 2,450 crore. When this announcement was made by government official, ministry, railway ministry's officer, if it took them to complete this 357 kilometer third line around 2 years or 3 years down the line, on account of political risk, technical risk, or economical risk, this 2,450 crore total expense may reach up to 3,000 crore. Now, additional 550 crores required again do have certain formalities to complete. And in such situation, it is always risky, difficult, and very much complicated to complete such products. You can have consideration 357 or 2,450 divided by 357. What it makes? Almost for construction of 1 kilometer of railroad or railway line, it takes 75 lakh to 90 lakh rupees. expenses are generated. So these three lines were required to be built, operate and transfer. Now who will build this particular project? Those all who are having expertise in building of or developing railway line in their capacity, in their full capacity. And such contractors, such project workers, project completing authorities are not government employee. All the railway lines constructed are constructed by private sector companies only. And they don't just complete these railway lines, they operate it for specific time period. They look into mistakes if happening any, they correct them, and in later stage they are handing over those railway lines completely to the railway department. That means central government. So this is what is built, operate, transfer model. Under the BOT annuity model for rail project, the private developer gets a revenue guarantee of 80% of projected revenue at the time of bidding. What guarantee private developer is getting? 80% of projected revenue. What is he is getting by spending 2,450 crore rupees? It's a huge sum. What he is getting? 80% of projected revenue. Now that 80% of projected revenue will not come all of a sudden in span of 3 months or 6 months, not even in 1 year. For next 5 years, next 10 years, he is having his authority to collect that revenue. Now the developer gets a full right to revenue between 80 and 120%, and the Indian Railways do not take any share from it. Indian Railways will not take any share from it. It is only when the actual revenue is above 120%. Actual revenue above 120% will reach down the line 3 years or 5 years also. The additional receipts are shared with the Indian Railways in a staggered manner, the official added. What happens? You must have seen, we do have toll plaza. These days, FASTag is used on the way of toll. Who is collecting these tolls? Let me know. Don't just listen to me. Reply something. Yes, students. When I go from Pune to Mumbai, who's collecting these tolls? Or just technically appearing online and sleeping? Yes, please. I won't go ahead without your reply. We have enough time for this BOT model explanation. Please let me know. I am doubtful if you all are available online or not. Yes, students.
So can you repeat the question, please?
What are Rutuja, Abhishek, Rahul, मयूरा, ओंकार, अक्षता,
NHAI.
I am asking you, who is collecting toll on national highway?
So the government. Government collects the toll.
Be little
NHAI.
louder, dear.
So the government collects the toll.
No, don't have this misunderstanding. Then what you understood by built, operate and transfer model? This toll is collected by those companies who are building and construction this national highway. Now, if these companies are building this road construction requires raw material, requires cement, tar, labor, and it's a costly affair, having turnover of a few hundred crores for construction of 50-60 kilometers. The total national highway from Bangalore to Mumbai, you have any idea how much kilometer it is? Almost 720. Why 720 kilometer road should be built by a private developer? What in return he is getting? They are collecting toll to generate revenue, and that contract between that IRB, Indian road developers or Indian road builders, whatever it is, they are recovering their cost investment and then generating profit also. And after down the line 20 years, government will have possession of these roads. They don't just operate and collect tolls. On the way, if any mishap, any accident happens, they have responsibility of recovering it also. You ask any common man, whatever toll is collected from passengers and commercial vehicles, in whose pocket it goes? Being MBA student, you should be aware of all these things. I am asking you one question. You are replying almost after 5 minutes. What does it mean? Are you all there? This toll, no, when construction is done, actual site construction, all the laborers who are working there, you think they all are government employee? And if a private builder is building such type of huge roads with crores and hundreds and thousands of crores of rupees, from where government is paying them? Government asks them to operate those roads so that government don't have to pay instantly. And these all developers also don't have 2,450 crore rupees in their pocket. They are availing loan facility. And they have to go in calculation with interest rate, principal, operating cost, labor cost, government taxes, everything, and they have to have collect tolls. And most of the opposition leaders, political parties, social activists always oppose toll. All these construction companies, builders and developers go through very hectic schedule. Their professional life is very challenging. So all the tolls are collected by these private operators or those who are having constructed that road, and they do have 10 years down the line, 50 years down the line, 15 years down the line, authority to collect toll. So this is the way they are operating. What is said here, to attract private investment in railways, the government had framed 5 models: non-government private line model, non-government private line model, privatization of railway is in process. That means everything from platform 1 to platform last, all things will be under control of a private company. And joint venture model between private and government, build, operate and transfer model, capacity augmentation with funding provided by customers model, and capacity augmentation through annuity model. Capacity augmentation means part of that particular operating model will have with that company who built it, and when it comes to profit, 50%, 60% will be shared by that private sector party. Remaining 40%, remaining 70%, 30% will be given to government. In initial stage, percentage wise, more profit will be given to private sector. In due course of time, percentage of government will increase. That way they are operating. Now, Delhi Noida direct project. Delhi Noida direct project. This 8-lane, 9-kilometer long tolled expressway connects South Delhi to Noida, a part of the National Capital Region. Have we seen Delhi written into bracket NCR? If you have read any address, Delhi NCR, National Capital Region, and the fastest growing industrial commercial hub. Noida is the fastest growing. Noida and Gurgaon both are fastest growing commercial hub in Uttar Pradesh. Built by the Noida Toll Bridge Company, under public private partnership variant known as a built own operate transfer, BOOT. Built own, ownership remains with the toll bridge company, then they operate it and then they transfer ownership to government. The project mainly included a 552-meter bridge over the river Yamuna. Over the river Yamuna, they will be having one bridge, almost half kilometer, 3 minor bridges, and a flyover at Ashram Chowk. The e-way cost rupees 372 crores and became operational in just 4 months. They completed their construction of a bridge, flyover, small bridges within 4 months. It was opened in February 2001 and was extended in 2008 to link Delhi's Mayur Vihar directly to DND flyway. DND has 2 toll plazas at Noida and Mayur Vihar ends and a capacity of 222,000 vehicles per day. That toll plaza, every day, almost 222,000 vehicles passes from that toll. It is also the first toll plaza in India to be certified ISO 9001:2008, compliant of excellence in operations. That toll plaza is given ISO 9001:2008 certificate. So this is one project what Delhi is having. Now, before giving you this example, one question what I asked you, who's collecting toll here? Who's collecting toll on national highway? Now in this case, who's collecting toll? Please let me know. Here in this case, on toll plaza at Noida and Mayur Vihar, who's collecting toll? Then what you understood by having this much explanation? Read the entire case, at least one student. Read the entire example. Any girl student?
Hello, sir.
Again, I am calling you by name.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Who's collecting toll here? In this Delhi Noida direct road connection expressway, who's the party collecting toll at Noida and Mayur Vihar? Can't you understand what I said? My dear friend, this is Noida Toll Bridge Company who will collect the toll. You got it? You got it?
Yes, sir.
Then why have not you been able to answer it? Before having this case explained, I explained you that the company who's building the road, who's taking responsibility of constructing it, maintaining it, they have right to collect toll. Otherwise, from where they will incur their cost involved? Are they doing charity? And this case is in front of you. You can read it like open book test. Until then, you are not understanding. Here there are two toll plazas, Mayur Vihar and what it is, Noida and Mayur Vihar. And company's name is given here, built by the Noida Toll Bridge Company. So they have right to collect the toll, no? Is it hidden anywhere, name Noida Toll Bridge Company? Can you guess how much toll they must be collecting? What is the number of vehicles every day passing from there? Except local vehicles, all those who are coming from other district, other state, based on their size of vehicle, if they are passenger vehicle or commercial vehicle, their total collection of everyday toll will go in crores of rupees. You got my point, what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Then
Yes.
replying, answering is required, my dear. Otherwise, how come I will assume that you all are understanding? I am going one by one, point PPT1, PPT2. I am coming to the end of this session. And one question, just one question I am asking, that's to answer is there in this PPT. Even then you can't answer. Are you sleeping? So this is what relevant with example of build, operate and transfer. In fact, it's a different model. What it says, build, own, operate and transfer. Now till the time as per contract made between Delhi government and Noida Toll Bridge Company, they will have right to collect toll for specific duration. That duration may be 3 years, 5 years as per contract initially made. And whatever toll collection happens by Noida Toll Bridge Company will definitely cover up the cost involved in construction of this 9.2 kilometer long tolled expressway. Apart from that toll expressway, it includes 552-meter bridge over the river Yamuna and 3 minor bridges also and a flyover. All put together, 9.2 kilometer expressway, 552-meter bridge, 3 minor bridges and a flyover at Ashram Chowk. These all construction, it requires them to have investment in hundreds and thousands of crores, which is not included, which is not mentioned here in this PPT. And all this money they will recover. They will recover from collection of toll. And how much big source toll collection is, what is stated here? At these 2 points, the number of total vehicles coming is 2,22,000. Even if they are collecting 10 rupees per vehicle, it goes to 22 lakh rupees per day. And 66 lakh or 6 crore 60 lakh rupees in a month. So 10 rupees is not the amount what they will collect. From container, almost 675 rupees are collected. From a passenger vehicle operated by private operators, sleeper coach, non-AC sleeper coach, seater, semi-sleeper, all they are paying 540 rupees, 650 rupees, 675 rupees as a toll. So their everyday collection is almost 1 crore rupees. Likewise, their total collection in one accounting year or in one calendar year goes more than 400 crore rupees. And money is having its depreciation. What 100 rupees is having value today, down the line 3 years it won't be having. This factor is also considered while having contract with government. And based on this depreciation of rupee value, they are collecting toll. During this particular collection of toll and recovering cost plus having profit, they will have ownership of that road and they will operate it also. If there are minor repair works required, if there is happening any accident on the road, they have responsibility to run the traffic smoothly on that 9.2 kilometer road, on that 552-meter bridge. For that reason, they have employed workers. They are paying them salary too. These all things is a part of big network. So this is how build, operate and transfer model works for government as well as private parties. Tomorrow we will look into one very popular and commonly discussed subtopic, population of India. So be alert. Reply please whenever I am asking any question. All of you are not coming online. You are what you do, hiding your videos. So it is difficult for me to check if you all are there available or not. You have stopped your video. I don't stop video. I keep it on. As and when required, I want you to answer questions so that it will be a two-way dialogue, communication between we people. Hardly 14-15 students are available. That's too, 1 or 2 are answering very lately. Please don't do such thing. all the things what I am informing or asking from you are in benefit of your own development. It's not that every time I am testing your knowledge. Certain things should come spontaneously from you people also. So for today, I will stop here. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay.